So we all know that he counts on his blind followers, his true believers, his always Trumper MAGA base to sustain his cruel agenda, his lust for power, well, maybe even his thievery of medals that he didn't win. In today's amazing story, we turn to MAGA World's journalistic juggernaut, the paragon of plausibility. That would be Real America's Voice, American Sunrise, the morning show. From there comes today's informative and thoroughly entertaining clip because, as you're about to see, nothing is quite so satisfying than seeing MAGA talking heads implode because they just can't fit Trump's latest bleat into their brains. And by the way, that's almost a verbatim quote, as you'll see in just a second. So what riled up the sheeple over there on American Sunrise this morning? Well, it was this dismissive message from the president who parties with pedophiles.
I know you've urged people to move on, but I'm curious, why do you think your supporters in particular have been so interested in the Epstein story and so upset about how it's been handled?
I don't understand it. Why they would be so interested. He's dead for a long time. He was never a big factor in terms of life. I don't understand what the interest or what the fascination is. I really don't. And the credible information's been given. Don't forget, we went through years of the Mueller witch hunt and all of the different things, the Steele dossier, which was all fake. All that information was fake. But I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going. I think really only pretty bad people, including fake news, want to keep something like that going. But credible information, let them give it. Anything that's credible, I would say let them have it.
Credible information, let them have it. Well, try this on for size. Laughing Lutnick, he reportedly lived next to Jeffrey Epstein. Let's also not forget the lovely Linda McMahon, whose husband is on trial for sexual abuse and trafficking. Seems cabinet members of a feather flock together? Well, who wants to get a pizza? I mean, why would anyone care? As you're about to see, the worm is turning on Trump in the MAGA world. This is a great MAGA meltdown video from just earlier this morning on Real America's Voice, and it coincided with this erudite Trump tweet, which I will partially read in a bad JFK accent for contrast and fun. The radical left Democrats have hit pay dirt again, just like with the fake and fully discredited Steele dossier, the lying 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, which the Dems swore had come from Russia. No, it came from Hunter Biden's bathroom. And even the Russia scam itself. Let these weaklings continue forward and do the Democrats' work. Don't even think about talking of our incredible and our unprecedented success. Because, get this, because I don't want their support anymore. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. Oh, man, I am so sorry about that. It's rare we get to have fun with the news. Okay, let's cut to the chase, right? MAGA brains are swelling, and nothing computes for these folks over on American Sunrise. But in absolute seriousness, the dingbat conservative spokesperson, former wife swap contestant, and current Mar-a-Lago member in good standing, that would be Dr. Gina. Okay, well, believe it or not, she says the most important thing that I've heard about this case so far: credit where credit is due, because she turns her focus on the victims. The rest is just nervous drivel from psyched out sycophants. Won't you please enjoy today's clip?
Morning,
Dr. G and David, good morning. Hey, can we just get right to the Epstein file? I'm calling it a debacle. You guys can use whatever adjective you want. But this case just continues to go downhill. Excuse me. One of the latest things, Thomas Massie now saying that he's going to use the discharge petition, to try and force a vote on requiring the DOJ to release the files. Obviously, House Speaker Mike Johnson has come out now publicly and said that there needs to be more transparency and that eventually some of these documents need to be released. Tim Burchett, one of the good friends of the show, says that his constituents are mad about all of this, and that he says several personal friends have called him and asked about it. It seems to me, Dr. Gina, that this is really starting to fracture MAGA to some degree, or that there are at least two schools of thought on this issue. How is this ultimately going to play out? And I already know your position, if you will, but how do you think this is all going to play out?
Yeah, MAGA is divided on this, and the thing that I keep hearing people say, oh, this isn't important, we have other things. I'm sorry. Raped children, 1,000 or more raped children are important. I can't personally, as a mom, move on. That's not something I can move on. They're adults now, but I'll tell you something. As somebody who has dealt with this kind of thing in my own life, and as somebody who has counseled countless adult women who are child rape victims, this isn't something that goes away. We already know the latest victim who had come forward, she took her life too. So this isn't something that goes away. And as moms and dads out there, look, I love Donald Trump. I don't love Donald Trump just in the political sense. I love Donald Trump as a human being. But I cannot stand down on this. I can't. And I think that's the way a lot of MAGA feels. It's an identity crisis of sorts for people like me who are going, wait, I thought I knew who we all were and what we were all fighting for. And it starts with children who can't defend themselves, who couldn't defend themselves in that day. And I want this completely washed out. I want justice for these people. I want to know the names. I want people to stand. We complain every single day on this show. Is anyone ever going to come to justice on any of on Russia, or anything else, on the weaponization of our judiciary? Is anyone going to go? It starts right here, folks. It starts right here, David Brody.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, here's a quote from President Trump, and this is why it gets even worse. This is him yesterday, quote, President Trump saying this, quote, I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. Look, that ain't going to do it. Just that ain't going to do it. Sorry. Look, we got to call it out here. We always call out the liberals. We call out, whether it be liberals, Republicans, conservatives, animal, vegetable, or mineral, we got to say it. That ain't going to cut it. And look, I think at some point there has got to be, where is the Pam Bondi press conference? Whether it be Kash Patel and Dan Bongino standing at her side, something needs to happen here. President Trump said twice yesterday that he thinks the credible evidence should be released. Okay, so that makes me think, wait a minute. So there's credible evidence and there's evidence that's not credible. We want to see the whole enchilada, number one. But beyond all of that, if he's saying release the credible evidence, then let's start releasing some evidence, at least. Where is all that? Where is the coordination here? It's an absolute colossal disaster.
Well, I want to get to more of this with our guest in just a moment, but today let's check out the Bible verse if we can.
Good morning to both of you. The chat is all on fire about the whole Epstein file stuff. And
still, wow.
That's been... yeah, it's been the case for the last week. Here's my thing, Dr. G, and I go back to transparency. This is the most transparent administration ever. So it just doesn't compute. Like, in other words,
that's exactly what I've been saying, David. It just doesn't. I can't fit it in my brain. Yeah.
Someone's going to have to explain that to me because, so for example, if there are reasons that you're not releasing all of this, all of the files, then just say it and then give the evidence or give the reasons or have a press conference, do something. But it's just like nothing to see here, move on. And it's like that's just, there's something missing, and it feels much fishier than it maybe even needs to be. I don't know.
No, I fully agreed. The more this information is withheld, the more there are questions. And, when you leave an idle mind to begin to question, those questions become become much more insidious than they really might be. And so the administration just needs to stem the tide and tell the truth. Here's why we're making these decisions. Here's what we have, and then move on. But until that happens, it's going to be difficult for most of us to move on, particularly those of us, and I admit I'm one of those people who are just naturally critics. I'm naturally suspicious of everything. And when I don't have answers, and I start in my mind to make up my own answers, whether they're relevant or not. And so we need some answers. We need some real hard proof. That's just my 2 cents, guys.
Yeah, it's sad because to me, so much has been accomplished, and we were just cruising right on toward the midterms, and these midterm elections are going to be heating up here really soon, and I don't know how we're going to put candidates out on the road, and they're going to have to answer these questions day after day after day, because this is not going away. For everybody who keeps saying, I wish this would just go away, well, you can, my mom used to say, you can wish in one hand and spit in the other. Yeah. That's just not going away.
And the problem here is it's a trust issue, because we do trust the Trump administration, in this case, it's not computing. Back to trust. So it becomes a credibility issue. Like, you are the most transparent administration in history. So then, therefore, if you're not going to be transparent here, then there's a lot of folks, all of MAGA, pretty much distrust the federal government, and you're giving us reason to distrust the federal government yet again. So this is the core issue of all of it. Okay, I know we got to.
Once again, credit to Dr. Gina for staying on point. Underage women, they're actually children. And in this case, they are the silenced victims of a flying cabal of unsightly rich guys. Well, as to laughing Lutnick, absent of a moral center, well, it must be freeing to be able to chuckle away the damage that your pals and associates did to so many young girls.